Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to show you how I've been able to earn $26,625 for the month of February. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I believe in cryptocurrency. I believe in this technology, and I believe this technology is going to change the world. Right now, some of the most unprecedented opportunity I've ever seen exists in the crypto space, not only for the potential to be in early on technology and in projects that really could revolutionize the way the world operates right now, but also from the opportunity of being able to earn a passive income in cryptocurrency. If you know what you're doing and if you're careful and you're willing to take on a considerable amount of risk, quite honestly, then you can earn a significant amount of money. I'm talking to you about how I earned over $26,000. But several years ago, I went into a project and I wasn't diversified, but I believed in the project. I went in very, very heavily. And my wife even entrusted me. You know, we have done pretty well for ourselves over the years. So I have expendable income to be able to invest, and I've made good investments literally over the years, business investments, real estate investments. And my wife, I'm fortunate because she really trusts me when it comes to investing. And I went to her and I said, hey, listen, I need to take out X amount of dollars. I don't mind telling you it's about $40,000. I need to take $40,000 from this one investment that we have, and I'm going to put it into this crypto project. And she was like, are you sure? And I said, yeah, absolutely. She knows nothing about crypto at the time. To me, she said, I trust you, and I don't have any problem if you want to invest this money. Can you tell me why you're willing to make such a quick decision? And I said, the project's about to launch. When a project launches, you have your best shot at making a significant return if you can get in early. And I said, the team has a solid track record. They have had other successful projects that I was a part of and I watched. They had very active community, basically all the things that you want to be able to see in a project. And they basically were going to launch this project and it was going to be incredible. So we all thought. I went into the project. Unfortunately, because of tech issues, things happened. The project worked, but it failed basically. It did not do what we had hoped that it would do. It was difficult to go through that. And literally it failed within a matter of a couple of days. And of course, my wife comes to me and she says, so how's that one investment going? And I said, well, it's probably going to be a good idea if you just pretend that went to zero. She was like, really? I was like, yeah, just consider it gone. She was like, all of it? And I was like, yeah, pretty much. And she took a deep breath. She was like, okay. And listen, quite honestly, as a man, I'd never put my wife in that position before. Never. Now, we weren't hurting financially. We weren't going to lose it all financially. We were in our early years of marriage, we were scrappy and we did all the things and we launched businesses and struggled and failed and succeeded. But we had gotten to a point in our life where we weren't struggling like that. But I hated that she had put that much trust in me, sight unseen. She didn't even care, just on my word. And I just hated that I put her in that position where, it was all gone. It was unfortunate. So I made up my mind that I wasn't going to miss out opportunities and I wasn't going to be afraid of taking risk, but I was going to diversify more often. So one of the things you'll find out about my channel is a lot of times when people talk about cryptocurrency, if they talk about projects, they really get themselves pigeonholed into one type of project. They will only talk about play to earn, or they will only talk about master nodes, or they'll talk about only ROI contracts. And they really get stuck into one or two projects or one or two different parts of DeFi. They'll only talk about yield farming, for example. What you find out on my channel is I talk about a lot of different DeFi stuff. I talk about all of those categories of projects, and I invest in those places in the projects that I think offer the most return based on my past experience, based on what's going on with the team. And I spend hours and hours researching projects. Now, I'm going to talk to you about 11 specific projects that I'm in, how much money I earned for the month of February, how much new money I made in new investments in some of those projects. None of this is considered financial advice. None of it. Crypto is risky. The best analyst, the best strategist is still going to take significant losses in crypto. There is no one that is going to play too much in the crypto space and not eventually take some losses. And if you aren't prepared to take losses, then you have to know that this might not be the investment for you. Can you make great gains? Yes, absolutely. This video is proof. So I restarted investing after I lost that $40,000. I could have went and got some more funds. It's there. We have other investment accounts. But I made up my mind. I said, you know what? There's so much opportunity in crypto. I think I can bootstrap this. Start all over and just bootstrap it. And so I started then investing, and I had less than $2,000 or $3,000 left over. True story, by the way. And I just started bootstrapping it from there on. Now I had a couple of projects that were paying me, a few $100s a month as well, just other passive income projects that I had invested in. And with those, and some of those projects are still paying me to this day. And I learned a valuable lesson. Some projects that you think are going to have no future, projects that you can look at and be like, look, there's no development there. There's nothing to it. Some of my longest paying projects were projects just like that today are doing incredibly well. I don't earn as much off of them as I used to, but they've paid me the longest ROI on them things like a year, 2 years ago. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm still earning, about $100 to $200 a month at this point. And it's pretty incredible to think about. How did I go from there to earning $26,000? Well, I'm planning to put something together for my email newsletter subscribers where I'm going to kind of cover some of this content in a lot of detail. So if you're subscribed to our newsletter, then be on the lookout for that over the next 60 to 90 days. I've got a project I'm working on. If you're not subscribed to our newsletter, go down in the description, subscribe to our newsletter. But I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes. The Cliff Notes is this. I started out small. I started diversifying. And I didn't over diversify. That's another common mistake. I set up a certain dollar amount. In the beginning, it was $100. I was looking to invest $100 initially, and then my goal was to get to about $100 a month with a project through compounding, whatever I had to do to try to get to $100 a month. And that's what I started with. Then when I started accomplishing that, I went to $200. So I would go in with $200. And then I was trying to, get at least $200 a month in income out of those projects eventually. Like that was kind of the goal through compounding and hoping the project did well, token prices went up, that sort of thing. That's not a perfect plan, and not every project works out that well. Some just explode really quickly and others, just fizzle. But now I'm to the point where when I go into a new project, my minimum is $5,000. Like literally it's scaled up from there. I've just had it building up on itself. So one of the things you're going to find out is I earned $26,000 plus this month, but I did not pull that out to my bank account. I reinvest into other crypto projects just to keep it growing over time. And my goal is, grow it as far as I can take it. I mean, if I can take it to 50,000, 100,000 a month, I'm going to just continue to do that. I mean, I'll continue to update you on my progress here on this channel. So if you like this type of content, be sure that you subscribe. And just know that none of this, I'm not recommending that you join any of these projects, that you look at any of these projects. If nothing else, just look at how I've diversified in each project and how I'm in various different areas of crypto. And I'm not stuck into one space like, masternodes or yield farming. If nothing else, pay attention to the pattern less than just the investments in and of themselves. So here we go. First project we're going to be talking about is Animal Farm. So Animal Farm is a yield farm. I lost a little bit of trust in this project. I didn't add anything for the month of February into this one in particular. But I withdrew. I sold my pig tokens, which was the governance token of Animal Farm. And long story short, the pig token earnings were supposed to be significant, and currently they're paying out like 10% a year. There's too many areas I can put crypto, way too many areas I can put crypto. So I decided to sell my tokens. Now, the project has recently launched an additional dApp on top of that called the Piggy Bank, or it's launching it. I think it's launching tomorrow. Anyway, I'm wishing them well. The governor's token has went up in price. All that's amazing. I hope the ecosystem does well. I just decided to take some profit. I did. In this project, from launch of the very beginning till I finally sold my governor's token, I ended up doing something like $30,000 just in this project alone. One more thing I need to tell you: these projects I'm showing you today are just my passive income projects. This is not everything that I'm holding in Bitcoin, everything that I'm holding in Ethereum, none of that. These are just the passive income projects in the decentralized finance space. I pulled out $4,990 in Animal Farm. The cake token that I have cake token, and I'm going to stake that on AutoCake on PancakeSwap. If you're not familiar with that, basically just stake your cake tokens there, and you earn additional cake tokens to the tune of about 60% a year APY. And that's what I'm planning to do with these cake tokens. I did a whole video talking about this strategy, and it was like, how to become a millionaire using the cake token, basically. Now, I've been staking these cake tokens on this Animal Farm, and I'll show you that real quick. I've been staking them right here. It's paying out of 125, 126% APR right now at the time of this video. Whenever this APR drops, because it varies a lot, anytime that it's down to like 105 or 90%, 95% APR, at that point, my new strategy, because this APR has been going down steadily, my new strategy is anytime it's below 100%, I'm just going to harvest it and go stake it onto PancakeSwap on the auto cake. The reason that I'm going to stake it over there is because there's a 6% deposit fee to come in here. And if this APR is under 100%, I think I'm better off personally to go over there on auto cake. One concern about this project is the cake token's pulled back a lot with the rest of the market. And the cake token is an inflationary token. So I'm going to continue to watch this project to see how this token does over the next coming 3 to 6 months. But right now, I've been able to grow these to 145 cake tokens. I didn't withdraw anything. I just compounded and grew my cake tokens over time. But it was a combination, by the way, of rewards plus any referrals that I get, because you get DAW tokens for any referrals. So I'm not currently promoting the animal farm. I'm not talking about it. There's not even a referral link under this video for it, because right now I'm just uncertain about its future. So I just don't want to really outright promote it. But I did earn, pretty well with it for the month of February. Going forward, I just need to watch and see what they're going to do going forward. I am going to keep my cake tokens there though for now. The next project is strong nodes or strong tokens. Those of you that are familiar with strong tokens. So I have 7 strong nodes at the beginning of the month. I compounded and withdrew. I'm doing a 50-50 with strong. Basically, it takes 10 tokens to set up a node, and every node pays out 0.1 strong a day, every node. And so every 10 tokens I withdraw, as you can see here, I was able to withdraw $4,780 worth. And every 10 tokens I create another node. So I also have an additional node. So that was pretty awesome. Now the strong tokens pulled back. It's below $300 per token right now. They did release a white paper. I'm cautiously optimistic on strong. I'm going to keep doing 50-50 with it and just see where it goes. The token is pulled back a lot for the month of February. I think it's been all the way down to like $250 per token, maybe a little less at one point. I don't know where it's going to go. The white paper looks good. There are some sustainability issues. Their original business model has truly struggled, and the developer has been very upfront and honest with that. What they set out to do, they've not successfully been able to accomplish yet. They're launching their own layer 1 blockchain called the Strong Chain, and they're making some adjustments to tokenomics, and they're basically trying to adjust their business model. I'm optimistic. Definitely I can see the improvements making a positive impact overall in the ecosystem, but they still haven't laid out a very clear path forward to how their business model can succeed. It's not very clear yet. This is one that personally I'm cautiously optimistic on. Next up, we're talking about my trading account. So my trading account is not something that I would typically put up here because I don't talk about my trading balance a whole lot. I have some trading students and I talk about it with them pretty clearly, but I did withdraw $5,000 out of my trading account. I don't typically do that, but I wanted to add some additional funds, so I did withdraw $5,000. I'll also tell you that I pulled out about $4,000 or $5,000 as well, maybe it was $6,000 as well, from my HODL wallet as well for some of the projects I'm going to show you here in a moment. So I did pull out $5,000 roughly from my trading account. Next up, let's talk about Drip. So many of you follow my channel, you are familiar with Drip. This thing has been paying out like crazy. I originally, many months ago, somewhere around the middle of last year, I made a $5,000 investment in Drip. This is one of those projects that you look at it at first, and I did, and you think there's nothing to this. I just don't see how it's going to work out. When I started investing into this thing, each Drip token was somewhere around $10, $15. And today they're like $90 per Drip token. In the month of February, at one point, I think they were $150 or $60, some crazy number like that. So this is a six-figure balance here, basically. Now, we earn 1% of this a day. I will tell you that I did a video talking about Drip sustainability. I've been watching the metrics that I discussed in that video, and I don't like what I'm seeing. Now, the price is pulled back. That doesn't bother me a great deal. The developer of Drip is the same developer that developed Animal Farm, and the piggy bank. Is logical that people could be cashing out their significant earnings in Drip and going into, for example, the Animal Farm and or the piggy bank contracts. But my challenge is that the tax wallet is draining, and it's draining pretty fast. So literally the past month and a half, for the first time ever, so I got into Drip. I didn't think it was going to do anything. I just was withdrawing to try to get some of my initial funds back. And I just kept withdrawing. And then when I saw the project start to take off, I started compounding. And I just compounded for weeks, compounded. Didn't withdraw anymore. And then I started withdrawing on the weekends. Like I would compound Monday through Friday, withdraw on the weekends. But as I continue to see the tax wallet, I think it's going to run into some sort of sustainability issues. That's the truth. I don't know that that's going to happen. I do think there are some options that the developer could do. I just don't see him taking action yet. And maybe that's going to come next. Here's the thing. Back in last fall, the end of the last fall, he talked about how there was this big South American social media influencer type agency that was going to be partnering with Drip, or there was going to be marketing Drip, however you want to say it. That hasn't happened yet. There's a big NFT project that was launched, a lot of hype around that, and it looks like that project's not going to fully flesh out for another year or two. And then there's some other projects that's coming out with some gaming sites, but they've been delayed as well. And it just seems like there's not a lot of attraction yet to Drip. Now, it doesn't mean there's not going to be, but it does mean that I'm at a point where I'm doing a 50-50 withdrawal, reinvest. And you know, if you're not in profit in Drip, I would just withdraw till you got in profit, to be very honest with you. Because for me personally, I just don't know what the future holds for this thing. Axie Infinity in the NFT space. This is the next project number 7. Now keep this in mind. We got an NFT project. We got a ROI Drip type project. We got trading going on. We got node/master node type projects. We got yield farming going on right here with these two projects. So notice there's a lot of different areas in the crypto ecosystem that we're diversified in. Axie Infinity, we have not withdrawn anything in this project. I got in at the top of the market on this thing the end of last year, probably in the fall. I have 3 scholars. I paid a lot of money for my teams that my scholars have. I'm currently only earning about $1 a day per scholar. Not a big deal. Have a total of 4 scholars right now. Again, not a big deal. I do plan to add additional scholars, maybe 1 more scholar for the month of March. And I'm just going to keep scaling this up because I'm long-term bullish on the Axie ecosystem. But at this point, I'm just going to keep scaling it up slowly over time. I have other projects that I think are going to be more profitable in the short term. So therefore, I'm not actively adding to Axie for the month of February. I might in the month of March, but I did not for the month of February. Next up, project that I probably put the most money into for the month of February. It is a node project similar to Strong with some significant differences, significant. And that is a project called Kubo. Now I plan to do an entire video just on this project alone, Kubo Money. This project, I have 3 of their mini nodes. They're mini nodes. I'm about to get one of what they call their kilo nodes. There's a lot to like about this project. There's a little bit I'm uncertain about, just like any crypto project when you're new, but there's a lot that I like about this project. I'm very optimistic in the short term. So I've made, some sizable investment for the month of February. I've got $16,000 that I added into this project for the month of February. I did make a small withdrawal of $978, but that was really marginal and insignificant. I forget why I did that, but I did. I'm going to be adding some more like this week probably into this project, and I'm going to continue to add to this project for a while longer. I'm optimistic. We have to see what ends up happening. The project, basically in a nutshell, if this terminology makes sense to you, they own their own liquidity. Their rewards are great, meaning they're not as aggressive as Strong. Since they own their own liquidity, they have a treasury. The treasury is already almost fully invested in earning an income. That income is used to be able to support the project, support the Kubo nodes. So it's going to be very interesting that you're not making actual nodes on Kubo. You're basically pairing your Kubo node tokens with DAI. And this project is on the Matic network. Again, I'll do a whole video on this project. But right now I'm earning, with these 3 mini nodes, I'm getting 9 Kubo node tokens per day in rewards. Those 9 Kubo tokens right now are worth about $27. And the good news is I got on this thing just launched last month, like January. And when I got in on this thing, I mean, the Kubo tokens were about $19, and they've hit $30 at 27, I believe, right now. Let's take a look at it real quick. Oh, by the way, I got 3 of these, and I'm going to be getting one of these this week, actually. I believe it's going to be this week. So if you just take a look at the chart, this thing is dropped down to $25, but this chart it's had quite a run. So I'm hoping that it continues to run, or at least it stabilizes. But overall, I think this project might have some legs. We'll have to wait and see. Again, not financial advice. Just because I'm excited about it doesn't mean you should be excited about it. Go do your own research. The next project we're going to talk about is another play to earn project. I'm very excited. I've made some significant investments in this project, and we are talking about Pegaxy. Again, this project I bought at the top of the market. Pegas were at about $1,500 each. They're currently worth about $400 each. So I've taken some significant US dollar value losses, I guess you could say, if I was to sell today, which I'm not going to sell. The thing that's most exciting about Pegaxy, and I did one video on this project, and I can do another one in the future, just an updated video. Their development is ridiculous. When I got into this project just like 4 or 5 weeks ago, I mean, the racing game was just this random 2D game. And in a matter of a couple of weeks, they released this full, beautiful, gorgeous 3D game. Now, right now, the game is mostly based on ratios, probabilities, and a random number generator. There's no real skill yet, but the skill version of the game is going to be launched. They announced yesterday inside of 6 weeks. Like they do development every 6 weeks, and it's insane. This project has suffered from the value of their token, the earn token called the Viz token. It's suffered because that value has dropped a great deal, like a lot of play to earn games. But they just recently updated their tokenomics and economics of the game to slow down how fast those tokens were getting minted. Plus, in the next release, and here in about 6 weeks, they've got several major things that you can spend your Viz tokens, is what it's called, your VIS tokens, your Viz tokens on, and that's going to help with the token burn. In fact, let's go take a look at something real quick. So the token price has appeared, this is the actual mint and burn ratio going on. So they burned about 87% of all the VIS tokens minted. The VIS tokens is what you basically race a horse, and if you land in the top 3, you get some free VIS tokens. And of course, people sell the VIS tokens to make profit, but the utility of the VIS token is you need it to breed your Pegas or your horses. And they're going to create a bunch of sinks for these VIS tokens to help burn more of them faster, a little more aggressively. They're also slowing down the minting. They're implementing so many new game features. I mean, the updates were announced yesterday that's going to be coming out in the next 6-week development cycle. And every time they make announcements about their development cycle, they almost hit every single development. So the speed at which they're doing the development is unbelievable. The team's responsiveness, the communication, the size of the team. You can get active customer support in their Discord anytime you want, 24/7. They have so many customer support agents. It's unbelievable to watch what they're doing. I've never seen a project quite like this because of the development, because of the conceptualization, because the team up front said that the VIS token was probably going to lose value. Up front, they said they understood that. Up front, they said they're working on fixes for that almost immediately. Like at launch, they understood there were certain things that were going to become a problem that they had to fix long term. And I think they're doing an awesome job on their development, doing an awesome job with the communication. The Viz token may have leveled out. I mean, it did go down to, I think, to 3.2 cents, and now it's at 3.4. Yesterday it was at 3.3. This morning is at 3.2. Then it was at 3.3. Now it's at 3.4. That's really good because there for a while it was just dropping very, very quickly. So maybe, hopefully, possibly we've hit a bit of a floor. This project, I'm probably earning about $1,000 right now. Every other week, I just got paid out my Viz tokens. I'm making about $1,000. Listen, I could go into a lot of detail on this project. They have scholars. I mean, I currently have 8 scholars right now because each scholar is racing 1 Pega. That whole scholar system is way better than the Axie Infinity scholar system, the way it works. They're doing a whole overhaul on their, I mean, oh my goodness. I could just go on and on about Pegaxy, and I don't want the video to be about that, but I'm extremely bullish on this project as well. As you can see, these are where my 2 big investments were made for the month of February. Now, we'll see what happens. We'll see how they pan out, but I'm very excited about these 2 projects for sure for now. I also made $105 here. This was just for a little bit of yield farming I did for something called the Stack OS token, which is a project I've been paying attention to. Don't have any major investments there. I'm just something I'm paying attention to. And the Drip Garden, which is part of the Animal Farm ecosystem, part of the Drip ecosystem, I did withdraw $820 for a grand total of $26,625. Please note that I also invested $31,389. Now you may be thinking, well, you're in the hole. Not really, because this is all passive income that I've earned. And again, I'm just reinvesting into the ecosystem. My goal is to grow this number. By the way, where did I find this additional $4,000 or $5,000 right here? It was from my HODL wallet. At the end of the day, my goal is to grow this number as best I can, month over month. Hopefully I can do that successfully, and you can follow my journey if you'd like on the channel. Go down, make sure you smash that subscribe button, click the bell notification icon, and click all. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.